and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Time for roll call.
Leslie,
Present.
Justine,
Here.
Erica,
Here.
Jay,
Present.
Coco,
Here.
Drian,
Present.
Karina,
Here.
James, Keen, absent.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to ask everyone to just take a look at your agenda and so that we can approve the agenda for this evening.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve by Jay,
And
Second.
second.
second by member Karina. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. And if you'll just take a minute to look at the minutes of last month's meeting.
We don't have those up there.
Don't have it.
I do have copies if you need them, but we did email them out,
They were mailed.
It was emailed several weeks ago.
and a couple days ago.
Yeah, and I made several minor changes that will not affect the minutes of the meeting, some typos and just minor details.
I motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve by Justine and second by Jay. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. Minutes approved. Now we're going to move to public comment. The public is invited to make a 2-minute comment. And as with all public comment period, we're not allowed to respond to your issues, but we'll take note of it. So we'll start with Michelle Dennis, please.
Good evening. I want to thank the Transgender Advisory Board for an action you took 1 year ago, almost to the night, when you agreed to collaborate with the League of Women Voters of Los Angeles, which I'm the treasurer of, to create a voter enhancement and voter empowerment day. And because of that action, the following things have happened this past year. We actually did the Voter Enhancement and Empowerment Day, April 2nd. It was videotaped. We made it into a 9-minute documentary. That documentary was then shown in Washington, D.C. at the League of Women Voters National Conference. And over 50 representatives of local leagues across the country attended that workshop. We worked with the LA County Registrar Recorder, and James, myself, and Drian drafted a poll worker tip sheet. That tip sheet has made its way across the country. The LA County Registrar Recorder has used it to train poll workers for the November 8th election. And so the jurisdictions so far impacted are Orange County, San Diego, 2 states, Ohio and Indiana. So the trans organizations in those states have partnered with the ACLU in that state and other organizations, and they've distributed that poll worker tip sheet and the video to over 90 county clerks in each state. The video is on YouTube. And recently, as the Board of League of Women Voters has drafted a op-ed piece for the Advocate, which was published November 1st. And I'm here to ask for something else tonight. The events of last night have caused a lot of concern and a lot of fear. But I see it as a huge opportunity. Now listen, we should continue to do everything we're doing now to fight for transgender rights and the needs of our community members, and we should double down on those. But now is the time to start a conversation here in LA County, the region, perhaps with the LA City Transgender Advisory Council, to have a conversation, a public conversation about strategies to secure acceptance and respect for the transgender community. A similar call to action has been issued in the last 24 hours by the Transgender Law Center and the National Center for Transgender Equality. And so if you're willing to take that on as a board, I would be willing to bring the auspices of the League of Women Voters to assist, and my personal devotion to you and to our community. So now's the time to do this. I know it appears to many people that this is a very dark time. I think it's the time to take action. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much.
Which is a good segue because the events of last night are probably on many people's mind. And so it's my honor to introduce the mayor of the city of West Hollywood, maybe to give us some encouragement. Mayor Lauren Meister, please.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank everyone for being here. And I also congratulate all the award recipients tonight, and I'm going to hang around and watch those awards. I also want to introduce, as you saw, Councilmember John Duran is with us, and on behalf of the council, we appreciate everything that you do for the city, and we support you 100%. I think a lot of us feel like the wind was just knocked out of us. There's an old expression that which doesn't kill us makes us stronger, and I think the one positive thought that I had was that at least we are in a liberal state and we're in a progressive city, and the fact that we have cities like the city of West Hollywood to set an example for the rest of the country and for the rest of the world. That's what we have to look towards, is setting that example with our core values, with our policies, and everything that the city stands for. And we just, you can't give up and you can't lose hope. And as the last speaker said, this is the time for action. So, we're with you, and what else can I say? It was a very tough day yesterday. So I am so proud to give this proclamation to the Transgender Advisory Board. As you know, it's Transgender Awareness Month, and lots of different events happening this month, which I'm sure that you'll be discussing on the dais. And there it is, proclamation. And I'm going to ask Councilmember John Duran if he would like to come up and say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Meister. That was very sweet. Thank you. It has been a very tough 24 hours. We're starting to get scattered reports of some of Trump's supporters out in West Hollywood and some of our surrounding communities already bullying people of color and members of the LGBT community. I just want to point out what the mayor just said. Hillary Clinton not only carried California, she carried Orange County, California. This is California. This is West Hollywood. This is Los Angeles County. We have an open lesbian sheriff as our captain. We have people fully integrated into this community, and we will not tolerate any bullying from anyone against any member of our LGBT community, our Muslim community, our people of color. Anybody caught doing that will be arrested and prosecuted. I don't want anybody feeling fearful. We're not in Missouri. We're not in Ohio. We're not in Pennsylvania. We are in Southern California. And here, LGBT, Latino, Asian, African American, Muslim, Jew are all united together after this election. So, you are our eyes and our ears in our transgender community. If you hear anything out there, please let our captain know, let our public safety department know, let city council know. We will not tolerate it at all. And these bullies will have to crawl back under the rocks, wherever they're coming from. They are not from this community. And we'll send a very strong message that their actions will not be tolerated. I hate to give that sort of message, but that's what's happening today, the day after the election. There's no civility, there's no grace in their win. There seems to be continual bullying and targeting of racial, sexual, and religious minorities. And so we're going to be on it. Thomas Jefferson said, "Eternal vigilance is the price you pay for liberty." We will have to be vigilant for the next 4 years. Thank you for all your service.
Thank you.
We have another public comment, this time from Terry Maher and Kathleen Henry.
Hello, everyone. My name is Terry Mayer, and I'm very, very happy to be here this evening. I have actually two things to announce. I know some of you already, and you recognize me from the program that is formerly known as the West Program. Well, we have a new name, and so we're just making sure that everybody knows that we have a new name, and we are now called WehoWorks, and we're the program that helps job seekers, and we work out of the Career Center that is in the West Hollywood Library. And part two of that is that we are having an open house next week, and we want to invite everybody to attend the open house and see the center and see kind of the services what we are providing. So it's next Thursday, starting at 4 o'clock, and it's my pleasure to introduce our new site supervisor. This is Ketlin Henry.
Hi, everyone. I have a special relationship with Drian. She sends a lot of her participants to our program, and this is something that I hold dearly for me to make it a warm and welcoming environment to everyone. And so I just wanted to just say thank you in advance for just spreading the word about our organization and WorkSource Center. And please, if you know someone that is looking for a job, we are right here in the West Hollywood Library. Send them our way, and we will get them jobs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along to members' comments. If my colleagues will indulge me, I'd like to start this segment. As you may know, the City Council of West Hollywood declared November as Transgender Awareness Month. The goal is to shine a light on the authentic lives, wellness, and vibrancy of the transgender community, culminating with the observance of the Day of Remembrance as we honor the lives of those who have lost to transgender hatred and violence, and a march in reflection, loudly to proclaim that our lives matter and we are not just a token alphabet in the LGBT community. We're indeed fortunate to live and work in a progressive and inclusive city like West Hollywood, and a city council that shows leadership on transgender issues, even when it wasn't fashionable over a decade ago. Though we've made tremendous progress in the last few years, there are many more people out there who continuously strive to set us back, which is why we at the Transgender Advisory Board takes our small role seriously and reaches out to all of you for your continued support, guidance, and encouragement. And sometimes, while it may seem that the world is working against us, denying our most basic civil rights, and violence against our community continues at alarming rate, we must keep faith and soldier on. We have to be kind and watch out for each other. As Hillary Clinton reminded us last night when we were at a low point in our political history, fighting for what's right is worth it. Thank you. I'd like to pass the mic on now to our newest member of the board, Leslie Frias.
Hi, everyone. My name is Leslie Frias. Working for the community for 8 years. And we're going to meet in memory of Alexis Arquette. I want to say that I'm really glad to be here in this moment. I'm a transgender Latina woman, undetectable for 18 years, and one of my vision is to be a healthy community.
Thank you. Member Justine Gonzalez.
Hello, everyone. Today's been a sort of speechless day. It's been very heavy. I thank you, Mayor Meister, as well as Councilmember Duran, for your comments. I do want to. Okay, we're going to start naming some of the deaths. Monica Lorela.
We're going to do that at the end of the, as our adjournment.
My sincere apologies.
Transgender Day 2016, Monica Loera.
We're going to do that at the end of the meeting. I'm sorry. Thank you. Is that it? Member Gonzalez. Okay. Erica de la Cruz, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Erika de la Cruz from Trans-Latina Coalition. I've been working for the community for more than 11 years. Been helping all these years to the Trans-Latina community to get some services like mental health, housing, asylum, polite. So it is very important for us, like, especially in these crucial moments, like, be ready to keep providing service for the community. Currently, my position is peer support navigator. That means that I've been working with trans who have been released from jail, immigration, or prison. Our services are emergency assistance for housing, food, and transportation. So my location is 1730 West Olympic, third floor. So if anyone knows or find a trans woman who has will be beneficiating for those services, please contact to me. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Good evening. I first want to thank the City of West Hollywood for graciously embracing the transgender community year after year, day after day. I am so proud to work with a city that is so open to integrating our community and so welcoming and supportive of our community. My comments tonight are really simple. In light of the recent turn of events, there's a lot of talk about it. So I have some comments that I like to say. Contrast is essential for our growth and evolution. It is through contrast that we truly appreciate what we have and what we desire. We can choose to see this extreme contrast as an opportunity to reveal a new extreme desire of transformation in the hearts of all Americans. Our nation is a resilient nation, filled with diversity, beauty, hope, and love. It is important that we not succumb to fear, for fear attracts circumstances and conditions that we should be fearful of. I am grateful for what has been brought to light and revealed about the people of our nation through this recent election. For in the light, we can deal with it. Who will you be in the face of this time in our nation? And what is trying to emerge in this extreme contrast? This is the inquiry we should all be in. As the trans community, we are experts at transformation. And since our country is enduring a time of extreme transformation, so shall we be the leaders in setting the example of what it is to be a united nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Trian.
Hola familia, muchas gracias por estar aquí en una noche tan difícil. Thank you, friends, family, community, for being here tonight on such a difficult night. I especially am grateful for the message of the speakers today. It was very uplifting, and it's definitely, I think, what our community needs to hear at this moment. I would like to take this time to read the inscription that is on the Transgender Day of Remembrance Memorial. The first memorial of its kind to be placed anywhere in the U.S. was placed here in the city of West Hollywood, and it reminds us why this city is so important and such an incredible home for us. Healers, shaman, two-spirit, from a place of wonder and magic we were born, to a place of misunderstanding and hatred we have been taken. Now, in the new millennium and forward, we deliver ourselves back to our rightful place. Along this journey, many of our trans and gender-gifted family members have fallen. It is in the beauty of their light that we place this memorial. The solid resolve by which they lived their truth is represented here and serves as a reminder that when we are strong, we are not just strong for ourselves, we are strong for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm Karina, and I've been a member of this advisory council since its inception. And I thank you so much for a wonderful city that embraces us. Thank you, council members, for supporting our community. It's been there for us, a progressive city. It's always been there and helping our community. We consider West Hollywood as a home for us. It's a safe haven for our community. And thank you once again to everyone for all your support. Thank you.
Good evening. Last year at this televised meeting, as your chair, I announced that I felt that West Hollywood was a leader and a beacon of light to progress with communicating and educating greater community with regards to our transgender community. I'd like to especially thank Mayor Lauren Meister. Thank you, Councilmember John Duran, for being here this evening. Last year at this time, we did pass the the resolution to ask the City of West Hollywood to bring aboard the Voter Rights Amendments Act. So thank you very much, Mayor Meister, for bringing that forth to Council. I'm extraordinarily proud and grateful to my colleagues here on the Transgender Advisory Board for the growth of the Trans Voter Empowerment Program. And we are looking forward to 2018, that this movement does not stop just with this election. I'd also like to make mention of our former colleague, Mariana Marroquin, who I recently had a conversation with, and I know that she's had opportunities to speak with government officials in Guatemala. And I'm proud of all of our council advisory board members who have reached out and done work with folks outside of West Hollywood to bring that education forward. This morning I had an opportunity to meet with community after returning from New York. It was a quiet start to a meeting. What I asked and urged community to think about is, as we are communicating to others, that language is important and that we need to be unified in how we decide to share and educate others about our community. That's probably one of the single most important messaging that we can do, because we need to share and continue to educate what our community is. And I think we have a great healing power because of our experiences. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Nguyen. Thank you, Member Nguyen. Okay, moving on to our next item in the agenda is the Transgender Day of Remembrance. We have a public comment from Amanda Madahi. Amanda is from JQ International.
Hello, Honorable Board. Thank you so much for having me again. My name is Amanda Madahi. I am the Operations Director at JQ International, and I'm so proud to once again be in front of you and to update you on all that we've put together in this past month for Transgender Day of Remembrance. I've brought a special guest, our Executive Director, Asher Gellis, who'd like to make a couple of points.
I'm just so grateful to be here. Thank you for having us. In our work in the Jewish community and the LGBTQ Jewish community, we find it incredibly important to provide education and to give opportunities for our community to meet one another and to come and support one another. So we're very excited about rallying the Jewish community in general at large behind Transgender Day of Remembrance. And we're very excited to be working with you.
Today's a very difficult day for everybody in our community. We realize that, and we had a staff meeting today that was unbelievably difficult to understand that what we can do as leaders in our community to make sure that our constituents don't feel the effects of what's been going on at the higher political levels. We wanted to talk about what we're doing in order to support the transgender community. Thank you very much, Jim. Karina, we know that we've had you in our office. That was so wonderful to see you I know, Justine, you're going to be a panelist on our transgender panel. And Coco, thank you very much. We'd love to see you at our transgender panel as well. Essentially, what we're doing at JQ is we are having a transgender equality brunch and panel about 2 hours before the actual Transgender Day of Remembrance here at the City of West Hollywood. It's supposed to be a pre-event, so that everybody that comes together in the Jewish community will then walk over afterwards to the Transgender Day of Remembrance reception and event together. Do we want to speak a little bit more about? We have incredible panelists, which include Mike Michelle, who's sitting here in our audience, and we could not be more proud to work with everybody in this community. So thank you for having us. That's it. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just for your information, JQ International is literally around the corner from here. They're on the corner of Larrabee and Santa Monica Boulevard. I believe it's 901 Larrabee.
801.
801 Larrabee. So it's literally 2 blocks away. Thank you so much. James, I'll throw the floor to you for updates on Day of Remembrance.
Thank you, Coco. I'll just do a quick update, and it's a great segue from JQ International. We do have a youth speaker now, and that youth speaker is Jake. He's a 17-year-old high school student, transgender boy, teenager, and he will be speaking on behalf of the youth speakers. We also did invite Zachary Drucker to be one of our guest speakers to introduce the youth speaker. Thank you.
Cool. So we're so organized. That's all the update we have on that, but we'd like to make sure that you join us then. For our Transgender Awareness Month, we had slated several events, starting with the official kickoff that happened on November 1st. At City Hall, where we had an official kickoff. For those of you that happen to be at City Hall or drive by City Hall at night, you'll see that City Hall is well lighted in pink, blue, and white. And we've spoken to the mayor. Our goal next year are the pylons. So that's our first event. Tonight is our second event. This coming, by the way, also we had laid a wreath at the Transgender Memorial, the inscription that Trian Juarez had eloquently reminded us. The first ever, or if perhaps only, Transgender Memorial is at the Matthew Shepard Triangle on Santa Monica Boulevard and Crescent Heights. So if you get a chance, please stop by and take a look at that memorial. This coming Sunday is our Transgender Documentary Sunday. We are featuring 2 films. One of them is called Shunned. It is a Filipino film with English subtitles about the pageant culture. And the second film is Raising Zoe. It's about Zoe Luna, who's a young transgender activist. Both films are very inspiring, so hopefully you can join us here in this very room on Sunday, beginning at 1 p.m. Also, on the 19th, Saturday, Dr. Johnson is putting on a wellness fair. I'll let him talk about this.
So Saturday, November 19th, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., we have the Transgender Wellness and Wellbeing Conference. It's an annual event that we do at the National Council of Jewish Women at 543 North Fairfax. Is it Drive or Boulevard? I'm not sure, but it's Fairfax, across the street from Fairfax High School. This event is very near and dear to my heart because it speaks about, and its primary focus is about wellness and well-being. So there are workshops the entire day. Lunch is provided as long as you register. You can do so at www.transwwc.org to register for the event. But it's a free event. We encourage all community and allies to come out. It's fun. It's about dance. It's about play. It's about exploring. It's about adventure. It's a great day. So if you haven't attended before, you definitely want to come this year. We got some surprises.
Thank you, Jay. And if I'd also like to request Trian Juarez if she can update us on the job fair that she handled that is co-sponsored by the City of West Hollywood.
Yes, thank you, Coco. So the job fair happened on October 20th, and it happened at the West Hollywood Auditorium, just across the way here. We had 46 employers, and we had employers representing a variety of fields, from the corporate world to the service industry. We had Pollo Loco, for example, that has started a new California transgender workplace project. And we had companies like Team One, Saatchi & Saatchi, Paramount Pictures. 46 employers showed up to connect with our community and offer them employment opportunities. We had about 150 community members show up throughout the day. And as I was speaking with employers as they were wrapping up for the day, all of them were really pleased with the candidates that they met and had collected numerous resumes. We sent out our post-job fair survey last week, and we're collecting that data now. And hopefully we'll have some information on how many people got hired, got interviewed. The goal is definitely to always get more and more people employed after the event. So thank you.
And I actually have news for you, Drian. One of the exhibitors' first time at your job fair was Chase Manhattan Bank. And I spoke to the manager today, and they actually received 4 applications. And they're very excited to schedule interviews. And not only that, the main headquarters of Chase Manhattan Bank is very impressed that they received transgender applications. So
wonderful.
Good news.
Good news.
It works.
Yay.
All right. Also for the information of those of you that are here with us tonight and watching us from home, Transgender Day of Remembrance is happening on Sunday, the 20th. We're doing it this time during the day, starting at 1 o'clock right here at the outer court outside the City Council chambers. Part of the ceremony will include the reading of names when we commemorate the lives of those we have lost. And then it will be followed by a short march, march in reflection for a few blocks around Santa Monica Boulevard. So that will probably happen sometime around 3:30. So we'd like to invite everyone to join us. It is a free public event, Transgender Day of Remembrance, Sunday, November 20th at 1 p.m. So for our board members as well, you will receive a follow-up email from me about our duties for the day, the program, final program, and how the afternoon will go. And also publicly want to thank the work of member Erica Gonzalez, Erica de la Cruz, because every year she goes out there and get us volunteers for these events, and we could not do it without volunteers. And also a big shout out to our staff liaison, Bonnie Smith. This event will not happen if Bonnie's not around, so we're totally indebted to Bonnie. So thank you so much. Does anybody have anything to add on Day of Remembrance?
Just to invite everyone, please come and join us and be with us. It is like very important to have you present and just to memorize those individuals who have been killed.
And also just to let everyone out there know also that we will have sign and Spanish interpreters for the event.
Right.
And for me, I would just like to invite our friends, our families, our allies. I think after this election, it'd be a great opportunity for us to get together, to heal together, and to build power together. I think it's a great opportunity for us to connect in that way.
Comment. So I think our community is really going to need us over the next 4 years, just as community leaders, parts of our community. So I think, like members are saying, I think this Day of Remembrance is very important because I think everyone is sort of healing and preparing themselves emotionally and physically for what could be dangers down the road. The council member already shared that we're already getting complaints of bullying or harassment. So I think it's really important that we're there for the community and ready to move forward.
Anyone else?
I want to say thank you for making me feeling home, and it is the right moment to be together and stronger, especially on those days when we're going to remember people are dead for violence, for be who you are, for be themselves. And it's really hard. For me, I'm a little nervous. I want to apologize myself. This is the first time that I'm be part of the Transgender Advisory. And this is a really right moment for everyone to be together. I want to say thank you, all of you, and I hope see you together in the future.
For those of you that are not familiar, the Transgender Advisory Board has been putting on the Day of Remembrance for over 10 years. And it seems like it just happens by itself, but it doesn't get any easier for us. Every year it gets more difficult. And part of it, how it started was, I believe, almost 12 years ago, before there was a Transgender Advisory Board, there was a Transgender Task Force, and some of my colleagues here were part of that original group, and I believe it was established 12 years ago by then Mayor John Duran. I believe it was during your term, and thank you for spearheading that. So it's been a long time, and hopefully, just like the AIDS epidemic, hopefully one day we don't have to do this every time, but for now, we'll keep doing it. Okay, moving along. About 3 years ago, the Transgender Advisory Board established some awards of recognition as part of Transgender Awareness Month. And for the past, I believe, 3 years, we've given recognition to 3 individuals and organizations. And tonight we're doing the same thing. These are some of the unsung heroes of our community. And to start off, I'm going to give the floor to my colleague, Dr. Jay Johnson.
This is like my favorite part of this meeting, because we get to acknowledge people who make a difference, whether or not they're standing in front of a camera or in front of the crowd. Oftentimes they're tirelessly giving of their talents and time to make a difference in the lives of not just our transgender community, but in the world. Our first recipient tonight is, I'm proud to say, is a friend, and is truly a friend of humanity. Tonight we're going to be honoring A.J. King, and I'm going to read just a little bit about him. A.J. King has over 20 years of experience in the field of public health and currently serves as the Associate Director of the Southern California HIV/AIDS Policy Research Center at UCLA. He also has extensive experience as an independent consultant, strengthening the infrastructure of nonprofit organizations and implementing community-based research projects. AJ has expertise working with and on behalf of the transgender community, particularly with respect to HIV prevention and related social determinants of health. He has authored numerous reports on transgender health, including Getting to Wellness, a roadmap for improving the health of transgender individuals in Los Angeles County, and Combating HIV through Economic Empowerment, an analysis of employment policies and practices related to transgender individuals in Los Angeles. AJ is a proud recipient of Bien Star's Grace de la O Award in recognition of his support, leadership, and advocacy to enhance the well-being of the Latina transgender community. In 2013, AJ was appointed by the Los Angeles Board of Supervisors to serve on the Commission of HIV and is also a member of the Annberg Foundation's LA in Sync Grant Development Corps. And I have to say that these words pale to compare to how amazing this person is. AJ is a dear friend and loving husband and father, and he tirelessly gives of his talent and services to the community. There is not one time that I know of anyone has ever, any organization has ever been able to call on him and him not step up and support his community. So with that being said, our first recipient tonight is AJ King.
We would like to invite the mayor to assist us in this award. Yes, and Councilmember Duran, please. We're going to do more pictures with the entire board at the end of the evening, okay? But please, AJ, go ahead, please.
Congratulations.
My speech out for y'all. Just a couple paragraphs. So thank you, Jay, and thank you to the advisory board and to the city of West Hollywood. I'm really deeply honored to receive this community award, especially because it comes from such a progressive city that models inclusivity and respect really in all its endeavors, and from an advisory board made up of people who do such amazing work day in and day out. So I actually want to take a quick minute and thank you for your work and acknowledge your work. Obviously, as you know, the work that you do improves the lives of trans people in West Hollywood and beyond. But it's really the way that you do the work that I believe benefits all of us. Your work reflects an understanding that trans advocacy is as much about housing and employment and immigrant rights as it is about pronouns. And your work reflects an understanding that trans rights are meaningless if we don't also have racial equality and if we don't live in a society that values and respects all women and girls. So thank you again for your work. Thank you for the way that you do your work, and thank you for this award. The world really has a lot to learn from you.
Thank you.
Okay, it's me again. So this next recipient, every time I think of her, a smile is brought to my face. I cannot tell you if, you know, some of my colleagues and Bonnie, of course, laugh at me because they ask me how many businesses or how many jobs do I have. Well, I can tell you that our next recipient surpasses anything that I do. She is so busy busy about doing work that empowers our community, that really takes our community to the next level. So I'm gonna read a few because there's a lot. We could be here all night if I go over everything. And I know my colleagues know her well and know her work because you can't be in this community and not know who she is. Our next recipient is Chela Demuir. Chela has sponsored some of the greatest events of bringing community together, and that's what I love so much about her. From the Transgiving dinner that happens every year to bring folks together who might not have families to come together and have Thanksgiving, to Waiting to Exhale, which is a ladies' brunch that she hosts and sponsors. She's currently in production of her own show, Chela and the Girls, which brings to light the experiences of trans women in our community. Additionally, she has the honors program, and that's why this award is so special, because for the past I'm not, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Chela. I believe it's 5 years. She's hosted the Community Honors Award, where she's tirelessly given to the community awards recognizing achievements in the community. She also has sponsored Bridging the Communities, which is a part of the ballroom community, bridging the gap between the LGBT general community and the actual ballroom community. She's also part of the Miss Southern California pageant system, as well as the Unity Games, which is about bringing the community together in an environment that promotes and strengthens and builds our community amongst people of color. What else can I say? From giving of her heart, from giving of her pocket, I mean, she continues to contribute to this community without ever asking for anything in return. I'm so honored that we get to honor her tonight, Ms. Chela Demuir.
Good evening. First of all, I just want to say thank you very much to all of you for the acknowledgement to the consideration. I'll keep it really short, but when I started advocacy work almost 20 years ago, the idea is because I had a voice, and I wanted to use that voice to help others like me, help others move forward. And I'm so happy and so humbled today to not only still be a voice, but now I'm able to be a part of the choir. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. For the next award, I'll pass the floor on to my colleague, Trian Juarez.
Our next recipients are the creators of Her Story. Her Story was an Emmy-nominated show that focused on the lives of trans women. Unfortunately, the creators were not able to be here today. They are on another project that's out of state, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Her Story. Trans women in the media have long been punchlines, killers, indications of urban grit, pathetic tragedies, and dangerous sirens. Rarely have they been complex characters who laugh, struggle, and grow, who share strength and sisterhood, who seek to find love. Her story depicts the unique, complicated, and very human women we see in queer communities and explores how these women navigate the intersections of label, identity, and love. Co-written by Jen Richards and Laura Zach, directed by Sydney Freehand, Drunktown's Finest, and choreography by Bernice Evaneau, and produced by Catherine Fisher, Speed of Joy Productions. Her story features predominantly LGBT women on and off screen. With this project, we have the opportunity to positively shift the cultural perceptions of trans and queer women. We invite you to join us in helping to make visible the lives of women who too often are made invisible.
Thank you. So that's for Her Story. I'd like to invite AJ and Chela, if you don't mind coming back again. We'll do a group picture with my entire board. So if you do not mind joining us. Mayor and Councilman Duran. Okay, moving right along on our agenda items from the staff, please.
Just to let you know, the city calendar has a list of all our events. We also have them at the parks. We also have them at City Hall, and it's also on the web. And I did bring some copies of our film information and also the calendar, so I'll make sure that it's left out there.
Yeah, I'd like to add, for the first time, we have a banner at the City Hall lobby for the entire month. So thank you so much for making that happen. The other thing is that if you go to the city website, on the home page, you actually see an article there about Transgender Awareness Month. And if you click on it, it gives you a whole page of all the events that's happening. And that's new as well. I wasn't sure if our DOR postcard got into the lobby monitor.
Oh,
or
yes,
not.
I actually saw it outside today when we were standing there.
Cool. So now we're also in the lobby TV monitor. So we're making it known that, you know, and people are going to be able to recognize the colors when they see them. Go ahead, Bonnie.
I don't have much to report, but I would just like to thank the board for your really hard work. Every year, I've been doing this now, I think, for 10 years, and every year it just gets better, more organized. I'm just so proud to be able to work with you all. So thank you very much for your work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move to the next item in the agenda, public comment. We have Michelle Dennis again. Michelle?
Very briefly, I didn't have time to mention these couple of things. First of all, because of the action you took a year ago, we now have an open door with the LA County Registrar Recorder to work with them on creating materials and training videos and so forth for the November 2018 election. So we're going to continue that process in conjunction with the League of Women Voters. One of the things that we would like to explore with the board later on is creating voting leaders and the different components of the transgender community in Los Angeles and West Hollywood, so that they'd have a direct access to segments of the transgender community. Then lastly, concerning the possibility of creating a new conversation about strategies to generate acceptance and respect for the transgender community, one of the strategies that seems to be moving forward is to have members of our community run for local office. That's a big jump. And one person has already come forward. She's an attorney, and I think positioned to do this, but we need to find other persons in the transgender community, gender nonconforming community, to run for local office, school board, council members, etc., as a way of generating this acceptance and respect. So I just wanted to throw those couple things out and maybe cause some mischief. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Members' comments. Leslie?
Like we are working together. In Star, we're gonna have an event sooner, November 18, before March. We're gonna have an event recognize transgender Latina women, and this is the first big event we're gonna have it. We wanna invite everyone for be part of this event, this movement.
I just want to thank everyone again for being here. It's going to be rough, but I think with love and compassion, especially here in West Hollywood, I think we'll get through it together. So I am hopeful, and I look forward to working with you all moving forward.
I'd just like to thank everyone who is present. Thanks to the mayor. Thanks to Duran to be with us. Congratulations, AJ. Chela, love you. You are a very awesome woman. And also, I would like to share that this is the very first time in my life that I was able to vote in the United States. And even though my candidate didn't win, but it feels so good, like being part of this country to make history. Thank you.
My comments are very brief. I just want to thank the City of West Hollywood once again for standing by our community, supporting our community, embracing and loving our community. I'm just so filled with gratitude for this city and for all that they do to promote equality. And thank you to my colleagues for another great year and making it to Transgender Awareness Month. It's an honor and a privilege to serve with you.
I just wanted to thank community for being here tonight on this very special night and to kick off this very important event for our community. I also want to thank my colleagues for doing this work time and time again. It's not easy, and today I was feeling very depressed and very sad. But being here today gives me hope and inspires me to believe that love will truly trump hate. And I believe that because of all of us here today. So thank you.
I'd like to thank my colleagues also for all your support and working with me. Thank you very much. And also for a very progressive city which is at the forefront of our human rights. One announcement, Transgender Day of Remembrance is being sponsored by Spectrum Alliance Club of Los Angeles City College. It's the first of the year that they're doing. They're doing a panel and discussion regarding the epidemic of hate and violence that pledges transgender community. There will be a candlelight and also panel discussion this coming Thursday on November 17 at 4 p.m. at LA City College. Please come and join us. I'll be one of the panelists. Thank you.
I'd like to congratulate again AJ, Chela, and the creators of Her Story, City of West Hollywood for all you do to support the Transgender Advisory Board and its community. I'd like to just give one more plug. Everyone please come and join us on Sunday, November 20th for Transgender Day of Remembrance here at West Hollywood Auto Court Library. And it's going to be a beautiful memorial to our fallen trans brothers and sisters. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge the work of one of our colleagues that is unable to join us tonight. Keen O'Brien is an important member of our board as well, so we give a shout out to him. And sitting here, and we have this pen from the City of West Hollywood, and this could not be more relevant than what it says here, building community. This is part of that process, and we really appreciate it. So, in closing, with the indulgence of my board members, we'd like to adjourn in memory of some of those we have lost to transgender hate and violence in the United States and Canada. These are just some of those names that we are able to find. So, starting with
Monica Loera, 43 years, North Austin, Texas. Jasmine Sears, 52, Bakersfield, California. Kaden Clark, 24, Mesa, Arizona.
Veronica Banks Cano, San Antonio, Texas. Maya Young, 25, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. DeMarcus Stansberry, 30, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Candy C. Johnson, 60 years old, Burlington, Ohio. Courtney Wichin, 32, Los Angeles, California. Shanti Thompson, 34, Houston, Texas. And I also like to add some names from the things that has been happening for the last couple months in Mexico. There is a transgender woman has been killed. This is the only names that I could get from the media. Paola Ledesma, 22 years old. Itzel Duran, 19 years old. Ariel Armas Carvajal, 30 years old. Cheva Guerrero, 55 years old. And Alisa Mendez Flores, 28 years old.
Kiana Blakeney, 22, Marlboro, Maryland. Reese Walker, 32, Wichita, Kansas. Mercedes Successful, 32, Haines City, Florida.
Amos Bede, 38, from Burlington, Vermont. Goddess Diamond, 20 years old, from New Orleans, Louisiana. Denique Dodds, 22, from Washington, D.C.
D. Wigham, 25, from Biloxi, Mississippi. Sky Maccabee, 26, from Ohio. Erica Tijerina, 36, from El Paso, Texas.
Raylene Flomas, 28, Columbus, Ohio. Katie Safori, 26, Chicago, Illinois. Crystal Edmonds, 32, Baltimore, Maryland.
Jazz Alford, 30, Birmingham, Alabama. Brandy Bledsoe, 32, Cleveland, Ohio. Noonie Norwood, 30, Virginia. And a nameless, homeless individual here in the city of Los Angeles. And to so many others that are not documented in the resources that we could find. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we'd like to adjourn this meeting. Thank you for joining us. Good night.